We're back with album review.
What up, what up?
What's going on?
So, Dev, what have you got for us this week?
Today, we got the infamous Mobb Deep. An absolute banger. One of my favorites. I'm sure one of
Oh, there it
all
goes.
of our favorites.
Nice one.
It's a banger.
It's a great
It's a
one.
classic.
God damn it.
So, I don't have much context for these guys. I know they're like East Coast rappers from New York.
Yeah.
Got like
Google it.
they were huge during like the big come up of all these rappers like Nas, Wu-Tang Clan, Biggie. Like they were there for pretty much all the big guys coming up. They had an album before this.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it, but I've heard it's like hit or miss at times.
Mm-hmm. This is probably, I would say, like they're one of their if one of their number one like drops that were all like they kind of give like that vibe of like that 90s like underground rap, like New York rap.
Like Nas.
They're known and they're popular, but they kind of had that underground like vibe, kind of it's like their own specific group of listeners like know who these guys are. Like they didn't, not that they didn't want to go out mainstream and be like how they are now, but they got that vibe to them that like you got to know them and really understand them, like to really like, they got that vibe to them. You know what I mean? Like they put it out there, man. That shit was
They were both 20 years old when this album came out, so
you got Prodigy and Havoc on here.
Yeah.
taking that into consideration while you're listening to it, it's pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
stuff that rap about. It's crazy, man. And the stuff that they're saying, like it's really raw, like
Very raw album.
Yeah, man.
A lot of
It's
like
just,
storytelling.
With a lot of
type
like
songs.
90s
what I
boom
like.
bap in there, like with the beats.
Yeah.
like they're putting like that's what I like about it too, and it's just like versus like what was going on in the 90s and that time period and everything, and then like how they're mixing like their own life stories into it and putting it into a rap, and the way they do it is just like
It doesn't really
it
doesn't really give off that they were trying to like get big with this album or anything.
Exactly.
It's
They're
kind of
just
just
telling their
them
story.
making music and being real
And
like,
rapping their asses off, like
Telling
pretty
their
much
story.
the whole time.
I mean, and then the features they got on there too, like Big
Features
Noid,
are great, yeah.
Big Noid they got on there. We got one with Nas on there, Q-Tip.
Yeah,
fucking
lots of classic rappers from New
Ghostface
York.
Killer's on one of these
Yeah.
two of them.
Let's just jump into the
Crazy.
tracks at this point, because there's a lot we could talk about here.
Yeah,
So the opening track is The Start of Your Ending.
yeah.
41st Side.
I think it's a really good like opening track.
I
Good
think
intro.
I think it's a pretty good intro to it. To the way like it starts off and like the vibe of like the music and everything, and then it's telling the story. That's just the beginning of a great story that's going to be told throughout the whole album and shit. So I
Yeah.
think that was a killer for their intro.
Yeah, similar
it
vibes
just
to what's
gave-
to follow.
It
Yeah,
just gave the hype for the rest of the album of what to prepare yourself for. You know what I'm saying, and what to listen and hear for in the whole album. What they speak about. It was a good one.
definitely. What's the next track?
It's the infamous Prelude.
I really like this prelude. I think
Yeah.
I think it's just Prodigy talking like a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like saying like just don't fuck with us. I love the
much.
ending where he's like you hear all the other guys talking in the background. He's like, all right, I'm done. You guys can carry on. And then it just
Yeah.
like tunes into them like yeah, and they're just talking again. I love that shit.
Apparently, this Prelude like kind of started beef with a couple rappers. Like I
Oh,
was reading
really?
the Genius about it.
Mhm.
It said like Redman and Keith Murray apparently,
Oh shit. Okay.
but because
That's
when
funny,
he
'cause
something
Keith
about when he
Murray.
said like these rappers talking about space shit and all
Mhm.
that.
Uh-huh.
Apparently, that
Yeah.
was kind of who he was talking about, and they got
Yeah.
mad after this.
Yeah. And like these guys are no pun intended. These guys are infamously known for beefing with Pac
Yeah.
and like a lot of the West Coast rap.
Yeah.
In fact, these guys were directly called out on Hit 'Em Up. So
Yeah. Yep.
It's crazy.
So next one,
What's our
next one is one of the big hits.
Survival of the Fittest.
Oh yeah, man.
This one is a banger.
Great song, yeah.
Yeah.
And like
Classic beat.
yeah, like the beats on this album, like one thing I will say, a lot of them start to sound a little similar, like
Yeah,
towards like the
for sure.
second half of the album. But like some of the most iconic beats in here are just so distinct. The piano
Yeah.
in them is
It
great.
speaks for himself.
Yeah.
It's
Some good
just
samples in here.
A lot of the samples are great.
Yeah.
What they got on there. That was definitely everybody knows that song. So that's
Yeah.
like, that's like
One of their big hits for
Mhm.
sure.
definitely.
Next track is Eye for an Eye, Your Beef
Oh.
is Mine's,
Yeah.
featuring Nas and Raekwon.
Yes.
That's a straight banger.
That one's a
Wow,
great
so-
song.
really good.
Getting this together, you beefs mom, man. You know, that's cool. Showing like brotherhood. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know
We
what I
actually
mean?
saw a snippet
Life in
of
the
this
streets.
one live when Nas and Wu-Tang came to
Really?
town.
Really?
Yeah,
I
this,
didn't realize
this is
they
the
did
only
that
Mobb
part.
Deep song they did was
Did
this
really?
one.
No,
Yeah,
that's dope.
their verses were pretty short and sweet at the end, but I
Yeah.
thought they were both really good.
Mhm.
Additions to the track.
Yeah, they were great to have on here.
Yeah, they did their features from there too. Nas and Raekwon, they did.
Yeah.
They
Mhm.
did
They did their thing.
Raekwon comes back later.
Oh,
on.
yes.
Yeah.
The next one is Just Step Prelude. This one's just a prelude for the next track. Basically, it's like an acapella
Yeah,
freestyle.
I like the
I like this
freestyle.
one. That one was dope.
That was cool.
He's like, got 3 cases, three places.
Yeah.
That shit was tough.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
little snippet there. That was dope.
Yeah, it's just them going off like without a beat, and they do that very
Quite a few,
well.
yeah.
Yeah, like and it
Couple,
pops
like-
up again here and
And
there.
when he starts going, you almost think that it's just another
Song.
prelude where he's just kind of talking, but
Yeah.
then
Mhm.
he starts rhyming in there. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh shit, that's what this is.
Yeah.
And they,
it really
switch
picks
off,
up.
Switch off, and then he started.
Yeah, it was
that's just
cool.
crazy.
I like
that. But it gets it into the next track, which is "Give Up the Goods" (parentheses Just Step),
Yeah,
featuring Big Noise.
Big Noid.
That's one of my favorites. That's my favorite song on this whole album.
It's a good
I
one.
think it's just the transition to like my favorite thing whole about it is just the whole vibe of the song, and then the transition of when Big Noise comes on there and he just absolutely rips.
He's definitely one of my
it's-
favorite features on the entire album.
Oh,
is
yeah,
Big
he has
Noid.
good-
That's my like out of all like their popular songs, like personally that one, that's my top one. Just
I instantly recognize the sound of this song because it uses the same sample as "San Tropez" by J. Cole on 2014 Forest Hills Drive.
Mm.
tough.
I
That
recognized it
makes-
right away. I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
But it's really they both sampled the same song that was
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
70s or 60s. But
No, that's dope.
that was a great sound.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We got next.
Next track's "Temperature Rising" featuring Crystal Johnson,
I like this one. It's more of a singy track, but
Mhm.
they still got the rapping in there, of course.
Mhm.
But
and this one was very storytelling. Like,
Yeah.
apparently, it was about Havoc's brother getting arrested.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
apparently they went to the studio like right when they found out that he got caught. So
Mhm.
it was literally them just telling an actual story about
Mhm.
shit that was really happening. So
Yeah, and like what happened, what was going on while he was getting low, wherever he was at, and
Yeah.
wherever he was at, and everything. What was going on? He had how he was saying he had everything hot as shit out there, and
hmm
Yeah.
the story of what's going on. And
it
how
puts
he
you
was,
into the mindset of like being stressed
street
because
life.
you
yeah,
gotta be running from people.
the
kinda
street
thing.
life and shit. Yeah,
Mhm.
like what comes with it. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
it's crazy.
And the next one's kind of more the same. It's Up North Trip.
This is one of my personal favorites.
I really
on
like
the
this
album.
one actually.
My second favorite. This one's a banger.
Yeah, this one was
Up North
sleeper
Trip.
favorite.
I'm sure
super
this-
catchy hook. I
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah, it really is.
I'm sure this
yeah.
ties in very well to the Temperatures Rising too,
Mhm.
like with the story. But it's like kind of from their perspective in a way of like if you fuck up,
Yeah,
you're going
done.
to
Taking an
prison.
up north trip.
Yeah, they're
That
sending you
one's a-
there.
I liked the verses on this one a lot. This was like one of the more aggressive tracks.
Yeah,
For
Mhm.
sure.
mhm. Definitely was.
Next one is another one I liked a lot actually. Trife Life.
Yeah, it's another one of my
Yeah.
favorites too.
Life was good. Like, see, this is like hard with this. Like, this was so good about the album. It's like, there's none of them.
It's
where
hard
I'm
to
like,
pick favorites.
Yeah, it's like I'm not. There's none of them where it's like, all right, this one like
'Cause
there
it's-
is some, but like, dude, like,
Because a
you
lot of
just-
time it's
oh,
kind
man.
of more the same. Like they don't really ever let up. It's
Mhm.
always good rap. It's the whole
consistent.
time.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
And
just,
the beats are pretty
All their
similar
own.
vibes.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
and they
but-
mix them so well together with the other stuff. It's crazy.
But this
Yeah.
song, I remember he was talking about like some girl that he hadn't talked to in like a long time,
Yeah.
calling him up, and he's like, something's fishy about this. So he
Mhm.
has
Yeah.
the whole squad
Yeah.
come, and they're all strapped up.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, this one tells a really good story.
this one's a really good
I
storytelling
think he's gonna
one.
get set up and shit.
Yeah, that was cool.
And then he actually does.
Yeah,
So
he was right.
he made the right call.
The next track is QU
That was a
hyphen
banger.
hectic.
I like
was
this
good.
song too.
Yeah, that was good. I like the music, like the I don't know how to put it, like describe it. It's like that, like it's got like the like it's got like different noises. I don't know, it was different. This one sounded different than any of the other songs on there. Like with the
Yeah.
way the beat and the music went. Like
Mm-hmm.
I like the way this one sounded. It was pretty good, especially when you were talking about it too. It was pretty creative.
Next track is Right Back at You. This one's got a big lineup. It's got Ghostface Killah,
Oh, yeah.
Raekwon, and Big Noid again. So
This one was good. This one I would have to say would probably not say was my least favorite, but this one I have least interest in. It's
Yeah,
good. But
I
this
could
one
see
would have
that,
least
yeah.
interest.
this is one of the ones I
This
had the
one.
least notes on. Like,
Yeah, like this
Wasn't-
wasn't
didn't
like as
stand out as
catchy.
fun.
Yeah, it wasn't like catchy like the other ones where they're like with the way that they're like syncing with the rhymes and the beats, and it was just kind of like a own their own thing kind of right. Like everybody just kind of did their own way in this one.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of like it didn't all really go together. That is.
You'd think with like such a big lineup on this track that it'd be more of a big banger, but
Yeah.
like
it kind of felt like some Wu-Tang songs, how like there's so many people on it that the song as a whole, like it's not bad obviously, but it's not that notable because it's just jumping from one thing to the next.
So you can't really catch the story. It's like it's just back and forth between different shit. I feel like it's just like hard to catch it.
But I did like how Ghostface Killah and Raekwon were like kind of actually going back and forth during the verse.
Yeah, that was pretty
Their
cool.
verses like together
It's just
pretty much.
something about like the nice rap, man. They don't do nowadays, man. That shit is just,
Yeah, you don't hear that
as much, or at least how it was then. You know, what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how the, like, rap
You get that with some people, but like it's very rare in like mainstream hip hop these days to have like tag team vocals going on like that.
Yeah,
that shit's crazy.
Next track's another prelude, the Grave Prelude.
That one's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
The shootout and shit, where they got shot. They were in another fucking shootout. And fucking, we got hit and shit.
Yeah, and then that transitions into Cradle to the Grave, which is just like telling this another story track.
Yeah, that was a decent song.
This one was alright to me. Like it wasn't it wasn't one of the bigger ones.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad.
Crazy, but it was, I could listen to the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's not any bad tracks to be honest.
Yeah, I wouldn't say any of them are skip worthy. Some are just like a little less good than other ones.
Yeah. The next track is Drink Away the Pain Situations featuring Q-Tip from Tribe Called Quest.
Yes. Another classic New York rapper thrown into the mix.
Yeah, this one, I like this song, Drinking Away the Pain. It's more of like, I feel like it's like, it's not really like I don't know if I would say like harder, but it's definitely more of like something you can just chill about if you listen to this one. Right?
Yeah.
You don't get you like the rest of the album. It's not a bad song though, but like
It
it's
very
one
much-
of the other ones you can
Kind of blends.
Yeah.
It very much accommodates to like Q-Tip and more of like the jazzy sound.
Yeah,
so.
definitely.
But at the same time, like the lyrics of what he was rapping about, it's not always topics that you hear Q-Tip rapping about very often.
Yeah.
He was kind of going with the whole gangbanging kind of vibe
Yeah.
the rest of the album.
Like the Thug, like you got on the Thug track.
It feels like a heavier version of something you hear off Midnight Marauders in a way.
Yeah, something like that. Next track though is the one that everyone
That's the
has
big
heard,
one.
Shook One's Part 2.
Yeah.
Classic song, instantly recognizable.
Instantly recognized. Probably one of my all-time favorite rap beats, like ever.
For sure.
man.
Yeah.
Like
It's just,
I agree.
a very iconic beat, very iconic song. This is like the song. It feels like they got a gun to their head and they're just rapping to save their lives on it.
Yeah, it sounds super dark, like that dark piano on this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. And Eminem he like rapped over this on 8 Mile, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like when he was practicing in the mirror.
Yeah, it's like in the intro, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So, very iconic rap song. One that probably everybody knows at this point.
Yeah.
Telling these fools you ain't no crook, son. They
Yep.
really just shook. You know
Yep,
what I'm saying?
calling
So,
out
like,
fake
so-
ass gangsters and like people
shit.
who rap about doing this shit but they don't actually do it.
Yeah.
And then you got Mobb Deep here who's like in the thick of it.
Yeah. And final track is Party Over featuring Big Noid.
Yeah, it was another banger. I like that.
It's not bad. It's a very much outro track. Like it's very much like
definitely is.
thanking everyone
Yeah.
and like just shouting out people. It's cool.
It was good where it was on the album.
Yeah.
And an album that's this long, usually, especially from this time, it's bound to have at least one track that's kind of just like, just paying respect to a bunch of
Type
people.
Yeah, this is something that happens a lot, and rappers still do it to this day.
Oh,
like
yeah.
J. Cole's done it, Kanye's done it. So like I feel like it's an inspirational track too. I'm sure there's been rappers before that have inspired them with an outro track like this, but
Oh yeah.
this is one of the older ones that I've heard
It's one of
personally.
the long-standing like traditions in hip hop that just pops up pretty frequently. You know.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, like I said, it's just one of them that group, and even throughout this album, like even their other songs like Quiet Storm and then Get Away too, and then you got I think it's Hell on Earth. It's just these guys just don't miss, man. I mean, it's just not. I mean, there are newer songs that were like after these. You can kind of tell, like, kind of think when they got on with like 50 Cent and everything. They got signed with 50 Cent. That's when I feel like they started. Went off from like the hardcore street rap, and they kind of got into that like that mainstream.
The bling era.
Yeah, but like how 50 was, they kind of like got them onto that, and that's when you start seeing them, and here like they're with their boys. They look like they're in the hood, they're in the streets where they're from, and then you see the new ones. They're out in, like in like Miami, and they're in the like the tropical places. Like they're not. It's just not. It don't really like.
They lost that relatability factor.
Yeah, it don't really give off like what you think Mobb Deep is thinking about to rip the shit, and then it's just kind of like they're kind of just like going with the flow.
They're
like,
doing the 50 Cent.
Yeah, pretty much. They're on that 50 Cent vibe, kind of. You know what I mean? It's kind of like
I mean,
now
it's the
you gotta get your
progression
money
of like people's careers sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying with Mobb Deep. It's just not really what
Like,
you
it just-
remember.
It just changed, like they kind of they told them how they wanted them to rap it like this, and not their style of rap. Like it just didn't seem like it was Mobb Deep. You know what I mean? Like it sounded like them, but just how they were rapping was just kind of like very like lax and chill, just kind of just it was just I don't know.
They didn't have that same edge.
Yeah, like their older tracks and everything, man.
Yeah. So final thoughts, not the rating yet, but what do you think of this album overall?
Overall, man, I think it's definitely a unique album. You know, I mean, it's something where people who can relate, and then also people who can't relate can relate to if you really understand and listen to what they're rapping about. If you take the time to learn about like what life was like back then and everything, and even they break it down so easily to like to get you to understand what life was like for like them living in the city and then dealing with like the rap beefs in the 90s between different rap groups, you know what I mean, from the East Coast and on the West Coast and everything like that. And I just think it's just one of them bangers that's always gonna go down in history for me. It's something that I'll never miss. Wherever you're at, you can play it wherever, listen to it wherever, whoever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever heard anything bad about it, so keep it that way.
Yeah.
So it's gonna go down as one of my top 5 for sure, possibly top 3.
It's a classic album to me personally.
Yeah.
Although it's not perfect to me. I have several complaints. Like I think some of the tracks are just like not as strong as the others, and like I will say like I love most of the beats on this album, but there's some that just sound very similar to each other.
Just like slight different changes to it.
Yeah.
Like more like higher tone, lower tone or something, and just make it sound different, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just like less beat or more beat to this one. It's just,
Yeah. And like for an album that has some of the most iconic rap beats ever, like it kind of surprises me that some of them just don't really hold up to that standard.
Yeah.
But other than that, like it's a fantastic album. Everyone should listen to it.
Definitely.
Yeah, I really like the album as a whole. Going into it, I only knew Survival of the Fittest and Shook Ones, like the ones everyone knew.
Yeah.
So I knew it was going to be a fresh experience, but I'd kind of say overall same kind of vibe as what AJ was saying. I don't really have many complaints other than some of the beat selection kind of got pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
But back then, beats were pretty minimalistic, so
Yeah.
they were really only going to stand out if they just had some unique sound effect in there. That it's basically just a loop beat, so you're not asking for too much, but it's kind of some of these were like super minimalistic to the point where you wouldn't really remember one beat to the next.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't have any complaints about, like, there weren't really any bad tracks.
Mm-hmm.
The lyricism was there the whole time, and there was some good features throughout.
Definitely.
Just very good, like, kind of, they really put you into their story. You can really feel it, so.
Yeah. All right, let's go to scores. What have you got for it, Dev?
Me, I'm going 9.5 out of 10.
Ooh, nice.
9.5. I'm sticking with that.
I like it.
I'm gonna give it an 8.5. Great album, fantastic. I wouldn't go any lower than that though.
Yeah.
That's like the floor for me.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to give it 8.5 for basically all the same reasons. But definitely I enjoyed it though overall. It's a good ass album.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So I've got a pick for us. This is an artist that we're very familiar with on this show by now, but we're gonna do their very first project they ever done. We're doing an EP this week. We're keeping it short and sweet.
Okay.
We're going with Opiate by Tool.
Oh, well, definitely never listened to it.
Yeah, it's a shorter one, and it came out before Undertow. It's their very first project they've ever done, at least like commercially.
Yeah.